Tariq was known across the Golden Plains of Assyria, a powerful kingdom in East Africa, for her unmatched skill in hairstyling. From intricate Maasai beadwork to elaborate royal twists, her hands seemed blessed by the ancestors themselves. She had been chosen as the queen's personal hairstylist, a position of great honor. Every morning, she worked with care, applying a special herb mixture that kept the queen's hair thick, dark, and radiant, even as she aged. This mixture was a secret passed down only to the most trusted stylists, and Tariq guarded the formula, at least at first, with her life. But the attention she received from nobles and villagers began to stir something dangerous in her heart. People whispered about her magical skills, and merchants offered her gifts just to touch her braiding comb. The admiration fed her ego, convincing her that she deserved more than what the queen paid her. One evening, while preparing the royal mixture, she paused and stared into the bowl.
If I alone hold this secret, why should I not profit from it?
That night, greed quietly slipped into Tariq's heart, changing the course of her life forever. Soon she found herself mixing a cheap imitation of the queen's herbal formula. She knew it wasn't as powerful, but it looked convincing enough. Tariq began selling it to villagers for outrageously high prices, lying that it carried the same magic used by the queen. Villagers scraped their savings together, desperate for beauty and prestige. Tariq basked in admiration and riches, unaware that the consequences of her greed were already creeping toward her door. Within weeks, panic rippled through Assyria. Women who had used Tariq's mixture woke up to frightening clumps of hair on their pillows. Some suffered itching, others painful sores. Mothers cried in the market square as their daughters' braids fell apart. Husbands stormed into Tariq's home demanding answers. But Tariq brushed them off, claiming the symptoms were normal and would pass with time. Inside, fear gnawed at her, but her greed whispered louder.
Just keep selling! You cannot afford to lose your wealth now.
However, the suffering spread quickly, and soon the truth was impossible to hide. Villagers who once adored Tariq now avoided her. Rumors circulated that she had been touched by evil spirits or cursed by jealous ancestors. The once busy doorway of her salon became silent. Even worse, palace guards began questioning villagers about where the strange new herbal mixtures had come from. Tariq realized that exposure was inevitable. She spent sleepless nights pacing her room, clutching the money she had earned, terrified of losing it all. One fateful morning, the queen herself visited the village in disguise, hoping to understand the chaos. When she heard the villagers describe the mixture they had purchased, her heart grew heavy with betrayal. She recognized the scent, the texture; it mimicked her own sacred hair formula. The queen returned to the palace with sorrow in her eyes, her trust shattered. Within hours, royal guards surrounded Tariq's home. She tried to hide, but it was too late. Her secret had spread further than she ever intended. Her greed, once a small seed, had grown into a monster that now threatened to swallow her whole. Tariq stood trembling before the queen, surrounded by members of the royal court. The grand throne room, once a place she entered with pride, now felt cold and suffocating. The queen gazed at her with disappointment rather than rage, which cut deeper than any punishment. "Tariq," the queen said, her voice calm but firm,
I trusted you with a secret that has been guarded for centuries. You have used it to harm the very people we vow to protect.
Tariq tried to speak, but her voice cracked. She fell to her knees and begged for mercy. But mercy was not hers to receive, not yet. The queen rose from her throne and looked down at the disgraced hairstylist. "Your greed has brought suffering to the innocent," she declared. "I strip you of your title as royal hairstylist. You are hereby banished from Assyria until you restore what you have destroyed."
Only when you return with the true healing herb may you step foot within this kingdom again.
Gasps filled the room. Banishing someone was rare, and it meant Tariq would face the harsh wilderness beyond Assyria's borders. Guards escorted her out, But not before the queen added a final warning. The herb you seek grows only in the sacred mists of Nambara, guarded by ancient spirits who do not forgive easily. Tariq's tears spilled freely. Her wealth meant nothing now, her pride had crumbled. As the palace gates closed behind her, she realized she was truly alone. The road ahead was dangerous, unpredictable, and filled with creatures and spirits she had only heard of in stories told by village elders. Still, she had no choice. Redemption was the only path left to her. Tariq's journey took her through dense forests, across rivers fed by melting mountain snow, and into territories ruled by roaming lions and hyenas. Her soft hands, once used only for braiding, became calloused. Her clothes tore, her feet blistered, but she pressed on. At night she slept under the stars, listening to the distant cries of creatures she could not name. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, and fear haunted her every step, yet she refused to turn back. Every time she wanted to give up, she remembered the villagers' bald patches and the queen's disappointed eyes. After days of wandering, Tariq reached the entrance of the sacred mists of Nambara. A thick white fog curled around ancient trees, and the ground sparkled with tiny glowing insects. The air hummed with spiritual energy. Tariq hesitated before entering. Elders had warned that the spirits of Nambara saw into a person's true heart, no lies, no deception. As she stepped deeper into the mist, the atmosphere shifted. Whispering voices swirled around her, echoing her past mistakes. Greed, betrayal, suffering, they hissed. Tariq clutched her chest, overwhelmed with guilt. Soon she reached a clearing where the sacred herb, Nambara Nyasai, grew in radiant clusters. But as she moved to pick it, a towering spirit emerged from the mist, its eyes ancient, its form shifting like smoke. "Why do you seek the herb of healing?" it boomed. Tariq fell to her knees, confessing her sins, her greed, and her desire to make things right. The spirit studied her silently. After a long, tense moment, it spoke, "Healing comes only to those who have learned humility." It allowed her to take only 3 leaves of the herb, no more. With trembling hands, she accepted the gift, knowing her journey was far from over. The journey back to Aziria was even more grueling, but Tariq pushed through with a newfound determination. When she finally reached the village, the people gasped at her appearance, thin, bruised, exhausted, but carrying something sacred. She gathered the ill villagers and carefully prepared a healing mixture using the true Nambara leaves. She applied it gently to each person, praying silently that the spirit's magic would restore what she had broken. Within days, new hair began to sprout, the sores faded, the village buzzed with relief and disbelief. Word of Tariq's return reached the queen, who traveled to see the results herself. When she saw the restored villagers and heard of Tariq's dangerous journey, her stern expression softened. Tariq dropped to her knees once more, offering the remaining herb leaves to the queen. "I have nothing left but this," she said.
I ask for no title, no wealth, only forgiveness.
The queen stepped forward and lifted Tariq to her feet.
You have learned what power and beauty truly mean, and for that, you are forgiven.
Tariq embraced humility, never again allowing greed to cloud her heart. Her hands regained their magic, but this time she used them not for admiration or riches, but for service and healing. And so, the tale of the greedy hairstylist became a lesson passed down for generations. True beauty grows only where honesty, humility, and compassion thrive.